76% of Canadian business owners are looking to retire in the next 10 years, and fewer than 1 in 10 of them actually have an exit plan. What this means to business owner is that only 30% of businesses actually end up exiting. We use AI technology to really bring these historically institutional tools like valuation, buyer matching back to small business owners that we see every single day.
We're diving into how AI is shaping the future of work, redefining productivity, and delivering real ROI for startups and businesses that are ready to embrace innovation.
If I can leave one message to business owners, it would be to start the succession planning journey early. Because engaging with succession planning is that it increases the future value by 50 to 70%.
Hi, everyone. This is Maheen, and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast. You're listening to AI for SMBs, a dedicated series where we spotlight the transformative power of AI for small and mid-sized businesses. Now, in this series, we're diving into how AI is shaping the future of work, redefining productivity, and delivering real ROI for startups and businesses that are ready to embrace innovation. Our guest today is Avril Sun, the founder and CEO of Succession AI, a Next 36 venture winner. Avril left a 6-figure consulting career and raised a 7-figure venture capital to solve succession planning crisis. Her platform now uses AI agents to help small business owners become sale-ready with clarity and confidence. And in this episode, we'll discuss the urgency of succession crisis, the story behind Succession AI, how AI supports valuation and readiness, and the broader vision for transforming Main Street M&A. So without further ado, let's dive in and welcome Avril. Avril, we're very pleased to have you on the show today. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you? Really glad to be here today and to share with the audience a topic that is very frequently overlooked and very urgently need to be discussed among business owners.
Absolutely. Very pleased to have you here and excited to delve into this topic further as well. Now, many business owners, they recognize the risk of succession, but they lack a clear plan. And Succession AI simplifies this process and helps protect what they have built. Tell us more about what problem Succession AI addresses among business owners and what is Succession AI?
Thank you. So the problem that Succession AI addresses is the succession planning crisis. Business owners, we all know, they focus on their day-to-day operations, their employees, their families, their customers. That's all they focus on. But when it comes to succession planning, to them, that's sometimes 2 years, 5 years down the road. And the long-term vision, the long-term thinking is something that's so credible, so valuable, and yet extremely overlooked. So the stats on this is that over 76% of Canadian business owners are looking to retire, not just exit, but retire in the next 10 years, and fewer than 1 in 10 of them actually have an exit plan. My parents were one of them, so I'm happy to go into a little bit later. But then what this means to business owner is that only 30% of businesses actually end up exiting. So imagine you're a business owner who built your business for decades. My parents built it for 28 years, for decades, and leaving everything on the table, not being able to find a successor, or leaving 50 to 70% of the value that's not being realized when you exit. So that's the problem that business owners are facing every single day when running their business. And how Succession AI ties into is that we use AI technology to really bring these historically institutional tools like valuation, buyer matching, those services that historically was only available to these hundreds and $1 million businesses, and those exits back to small business owners that we see every single day, which they need the accessible and the affordable solutions to them.
No, it sounds like succession AI is filling that critical gap for owners who know that they need a plan, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Now, Avril, let's turn to your personal journey behind Succession AI and the founder-led mission that shaped it. How did your family's experience inspire you to start Succession AI?
Yeah, thank you for asking. This was a very personal journey to me. So my family, they run a restaurant for 28 years. I grew up around the restaurant, the employees, the customers, all of our extended family is surrounded around this restaurant. And when my parents were the kind of business owners who invested everything back into the restaurant, back into the business, back into his customers to provide the best, something that's investment return was not something on their mind at all. They didn't really care about the financial return of their investment and didn't have the resources, the knowledge, and the thinking of what are they going to do when they exit. So when I moved from China to Canada on my own when I was 13 years old, so when I moved here, it was honestly the restaurant who supported my tuition, my living, everything around. Like if there wasn't the restaurant, there wasn't me sitting here talking about succession planning to all business owners. So when my parents realized that I am not going to take over their business and they have to find a exit around the business, that's when they finally realized how tough the situation is. There was no education around, no resources, no tools, no support to help them understand the process. And at the same time, I was working at Boston Consulting Group. And I was seeing how the mergers and acquisition for hundreds of $1 million deals are being done, how sophisticated the process is, how due diligence, how buyers accommodate and then review these businesses on a very granular detail. I was witnessing all of that. At the same point, my parents who run a 28-year-old restaurant, in my family's experience, they deserve an exit. It's a profitable business. It's a very well-known business. They deserve something to be exited with the business.
Right.
But the end result was they closed down the business with $0. And the whole story was because they ended up going into a deal with a buyer and they relied on everything with that buyer. So when the buyer decided not to buy the business, my parents didn't really have the effort, the energy to redo another process. And that was because of the lack of succession planning.
Right.
So that was the story why I left BCG, to really bring these institutional knowledge and to fill the gap of the advocacy, the support, and all of the systematic issues that force business owners not to be access to succession planning early on and not have the resources to exit when they deserve it. So the reason why my parents never had the support was because how unaffordable and how inaccessible it was. My parents had to spend $20,000 upfront plus a 10% commission to even access the minimum support needed for their exit journey. So what we're doing over here is to really provide the top-notch services, institutional providing at a very affordable price for business owners because they deserve all of that. They deserve the full value of running your business for decades and of really putting the power in the business itself.
That personal experience, it clearly defines the mission behind Succession AI and its impact on business owners. Next, Ever, let's look at how Succession AI uses practical AI to help owners become sale ready when ahead of time. Tell us, how does Succession AI use AI to make owners sale ready years in advance?
So I'm really proud to say that we are the first Canadian business that created an end-to-end mergers and acquisition platform specifically for small businesses. What I mean from end to end is that we truly go 2 years before the owners start thinking about selling, thinking about exiting, to do step-by-step succession planning for them. And when their business is ready for sale, then we create the entire buyer matching to make sure they match with the best strategic financial and individual buyers who can directly take on the business and reduce a lot of the effort of the due diligence, the very heavy lifting of answering all of those questions, really powered by AI. I can speak like days and days on exactly how we do this, but to give you some perspective and take some examples out of it. So for example, for succession planning, majority of business owners, the first step of succession planning is they don't really know where to look.
Right.
So what we do is that for all businesses, we provide a valuation report. So business owners really understand how much is their business's value today and what is your expected price of exit.
Right.
This gap is normally 50 to 70%. If a business owner thinks that they want to exit at $3 million, let's say, the realistic valuation normally is around 1.5 to 2 million. So if a business owner realizes this gap and we help them to realize how to close this gap to make sure that all your decades of lifelong work is realized. And how we do this is through the exit readiness assessment. So we look at 8 different areas of the business using AI technology from owner dependency, operational, financial, legal, HR. There are so many different aspects of the business that owners don't realize it is a risk until they face a buyer.
Right.
The buyer, I frequently hear stories of owners saying that I am so proud that our customers has been with us for 20 years and they are such a loyal customer and then they have been good to us for decades. When a buyer comes in, they will see this is a risk to the business. Because if this customer has supporting 60 to 70% of the revenue of the business, this is a huge risk for them. And then owner dependency, all of those legal contracts. So what a lot of business owners don't realize is the perspective that buyers or your successor comes into to look at the business is completely different from how the owner will look at it. So we use 2 years to help close this gap. And once this gap is being closed, what we really give business owners is the freedom. Because now they're in the driver's seat to really be able to exit their business whenever they can. A lot of business owners would say, but I'm not ready to sell for another 5 to 8 years. This is something 5 to 8 years later that I need to think about. But what you don't realize is if you get this done in a 2-year time sprint, and we do quarterly sprints, so it's not like everything all done at once, then anytime a buyer or a successor comes into the game, you have the confidence to be the person who drives the car, who can powerfully say, this is the business that I am selling. This is my decades of work, and I deserve all of the value after it. So this is a part for succession planning. But a magical part comes when the business is ready for sale, is the buyer matching.
Right.
So we work with over 10,000 buyers in our personal network. And what we mean by we work with is that we know exactly what's their investment thesis, what's their past acquisitions, what kind of businesses they purchased in the past, and where the most synergy lies. Let me give you an example to talk about this. We recently helped a food manufacturing company here in GTA. She's selling for $20 million company. And when she came to us, she already had a couple offers in mind and in hand as well. But what she really lacked is competition. And this is what business owners, that was why my family's business failed as well. It was, how do you create this competition so then you have the most leverage and negotiation power when you transition rather than fully relying on 1 to 2 buyers when you're exiting? So then we helped her to match with 670 buyers across North America, 670 buyers. And then we secured her an offer that was from a buyer that she never thought about, a logistics company. Because one of her biggest costs was from logistics.
Right.
But that was something that if it wasn't because of the technology, if it wasn't because of the AI, it couldn't do anything at scale. And you can't really bring all of these institutional services, technology, and tools to be really accessible for business owners. And the entire process is guided. So owners, we have advisors from top investment banks, from top consulting firms. So it's the actual human guiding owners through this journey because it is a deeply emotional journey. It's very emotional, and I've been through with my family as well, but it's the human that's guiding them with an expanded level of optionality and to put them in the car that they have the control over the process.
That approach is wonderful, and it shows how early use of AI can remove uncertainty and give owners a very clear path toward a successful exit. Listeners, if you are thinking about retirement, and please learn from this conversation with Avril that we had about the urgency of succession planning, the strategic value of AI-powered valuation, and how to use her self-guided platform to become sale-ready with clarity and confidence. Now let's continue our conversation with Avril. Now we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to talk about how succession planning or how succession AI is reshaping the future of Main Street M&A.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep, healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah, well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep, that's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump straight into Avril's vision for transforming the mid-market M&A landscape and what it means for business owners planning ahead. Now, looking ahead, Avril, the focus shifts to transforming the mid-market M&A landscape where most transitions fall short. Tell us, what is your long-term vision for transforming Main Street M&A?
So the long-term vision for Succession AI is to really provide the small, medium-sized business owners the institutional level support that historically it was inaccessible, it was unaffordable. And we provide that option to all business owners across Canada. There's 1.2 million business owners. Ontario itself, we're home to 500,000 businesses that has 3.5 million employees. That means 3.5 million families are impacted by this. So we want to provide the solution to all business owners. So succession planning and exiting a business doesn't feel scary anymore. It is a guided process. It is a peace of mind, so you can have ease when you're going through the whole process, and with confidence. So you can confidently tell your family, tell your kids, tell your grandkids, saying that this is this family business that got successfully transitioned because of Succession AI, because of the ability and resources that we were able to open up to all business owners.
That is an inspiring vision, Avril, and it confirms that transforming M&A accessibility is the driving force behind Succession AI's future growth. Now, succession planning is now a province-wide priority. You recently partnered with the Government of Ontario to build the largest succession planning hub. Avril, tell us, what does this mean for small business owners?
I am extremely excited to share about this because from the government perspective, businesses are the cornerstone of all of our Canadian economy. We are built by small to medium-sized businesses. Jobs are being secured by small and medium-sized businesses. So for business owners, what that means is they're able to access the resources, webinar, and learn about succession planning from the government perspective. So the government provides all of the support in terms of funding if you need a external person to run your succession planning process, because we all know succession planning is a long-term process. A lot of times we see business owners need a fractional CFO, their wife, senior management team to handle some of the processes of succession planning. So this means the funding, this means the resources, the webinars, and the knowledge from the government side. But what we really provide to business owners by partnering with the government is that we provide tailored guided structure to specifically your business. Because when we look at the lectures, everything is, we understand what's going on, but we really provide the guided instruction about every single step along the way.
Right.
So that is how partnering with the government, it is a massive move for the entire province of Ontario. And every single business owner should feel a little bit more peace of mind. And hopefully in the next few years, they can confidently say that succession planning, exiting my business, isn't a scary thing anymore. And it is a peaceful process. It is a confident process. They know what to do. They have a structure in mind of what to do, and with the right tools and resources supporting them.
That this partnership really reinforces how urgent succession planning has become for Ontario's SMEs. This was a great conversation with you, Avril. Thank you so much for all the expertise and the insights that you were able to share with our audience today. As you wrap up now, if there's one key message for SMEs planning a confident business exit, what would it be?
If I can leave one message to business owners, it would be to start the succession planning journey early. If you're thinking about exiting for the next 5 years, 10 years, start today to, like, you can engage with us for an exit readiness assessment. So really understanding what are the key risks within your business so you can start small. Start step by step. And then what we see business owners engaging with succession planning is that it increases the future value by 50 to 70%. And this is the value that every business owner in Canada, millions of them who run a profitable business, deserves.
That is actionable and a very detailed message. Thank you so much, Avril, for being on the show with us and for sharing such great expertise and your insights with us.
Thank you.
And that was a great conversation with Avril Sun from Succession AI on her mission, her process journey, and how AI is empowering business owners to prepare for succession exit. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. Please subscribe for more insights and visit CanadianSME.ca for tools and resources that support your success. A big thank you to our partners, UPS, Avon Global College, ADP, and Google for supporting Canadian small businesses. Please keep moving forward, and we'll see you in the next one.